When I was 18 years old, I was at the beginning of a very significant change in my life. I hopped on a plane out of state to Illinois where I would go and play Division I soccer. Dealing with the complexities of friendships, career decisions, relationships, and more without the immediate comfort of my family forced me to grow up pretty quickly. I remember my first job out of college, having my first experience with a difficult boss, losing that job with no money in my bank account, and having to find another job quickly with rent due in a few weeks. These experiences taught me a lot of key lessons about how to navigate the real world. I'm not perfect at all, I'm still learning, but with that being said, here are 5 things I wish I knew when I was 18 years old. Number 1, time is your greatest asset, so don't waste it. Your time is your most valuable asset. When I was younger, I understood that conceptually, but I didn't take it seriously. I was just starting college, I was going to parties, I was stressing about girls.
Like, okay, grandpa, we get it, invest in your future, whatever.
It's funny how out of all the things we stress about acquiring in life, money, clothes, nice shoes, a car, time is the only one you can't get back when it's gone. Think about this. Right now in this moment, you are the youngest you will ever be in life. That's crazy. When I was younger, I was terrified of the dark. Now I'm terrified of waking up at 60 realizing I just wasted my whole life and can't do anything about it. So take your time seriously and use it wisely. Cut out bad habits that drain your energy so that you can live your life more efficiently and ultimately live your dream life a lot sooner. That business you were thinking of starting, that TikTok video you thought about posting, that YouTube channel you wanted to start, acting, singing, anything, start it now. I'll conclude this point in the words of my favorite rapper, J. Cole. The only thing worse than death is a regret-filled coffin. Number 2, friendship is a two-way street. You know, we hear a lot about watching out for toxic people or getting rid of bad friends, or trying to understand why certain friends or certain people don't seem to care that much about you. It's important to remember that for any friendship to have even a small chance of working, you need to make sure that you're actively investing in them also. This was an area of weakness of mine for a while. I used to wonder why certain people never reached out or wouldn't celebrate if I did something cool. Then upon self-reflection, I realized I am not investing in them at all. I was rarely reaching out to them and I barely paid attention to their successes. I had to force myself out of that laziness because it's important to send text messages. It's important to call people just to see how they're doing. It's important to have conversations with people with the focus of the conversation solely being about them and not all about you. Number 3, college is not the only path to success. Whether or not college is worth it is a pretty common debate. When I was 18, I was under the belief that for the most part, the only way to make it is by going to college. I remember right before I went to college, there was a guy I knew. We weren't close friends or anything, but he was talking about how he planned on skipping college altogether. And at the time, I was so confused and disappointed. What? You're gonna skip college? Are you crazy? Long story short, he got into real estate and is now a millionaire. At the time, all I knew was go to college, get a degree, and when you graduate, there's gonna be a job waiting for you like,
welcome. I've been waiting for you. Right this way.
In reality, more and more kids are graduating with mountains and mountains of student loan debt. And every entry-level job they apply for requires 3 years of work experience. Like, how does that even make sense? It wasn't until I moved from Chicago to New York where my world got flipped upside down. I met people who had never gone to college making thousands and thousands and thousands a month from real estate, stocks, drop shipping, renting out Airbnbs, and a lot more. I got pissed off at how clueless I was and how none of this was taught to me in school. But it makes sense. If on your first day of college, you walk into class and they tell you all the other ways to make serious money and that by the time you get out of college, you're gonna have a lot of student loan debt, everyone would quit right on the spot. When it comes to college, it all comes down to what you wanna do. I'd say for most career paths, you don't really need it. It's probably not worth the amount of debt you'll have when you finish. Now, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, for example, then you most likely need school. You can't learn how to do open heart surgery with YouTube tutorials. Number 4, take full responsibility. I think it's safe to say that life can be pretty unpredictable, and when things don't go your way, it's really easy to find something or someone else to blame for your problems. What I've learned over the years is that the best course of action is to take full responsibility of your life. Take full responsibility for the good and the bad. Now, it doesn't mean that every single bad thing that happens to you is your fault. It just means that you have complete control over how you react to those things. When I got fired from my first job out of college at 22, even though I didn't believe the work environment was conducive to my success, I still sat and thought about areas I could have improved. On the job, I didn't ask enough questions. I didn't take enough notes. I could have studied more of the information I was learning at work outside of work to help make that information become second nature. After that realization, I worked extremely hard, and after a lot of sleepless nights, I was fortunate enough to walk into a brand new job exactly 2 weeks after getting fired from my previous one. My favorite analogy to this is that life is like a game of poker or whatever your favorite card game is. Nobody has any control over the cards that they're dealt, but the best players that always seem to win are the ones who consistently make the best decisions they can possibly make with whatever cards they're dealt. Number 5, be more curious and teach yourself. When I left high school, I completely hated reading. I despised it. School made me despise reading because most of the readings that I was forced to read were just incredibly boring. Today, at 27, I found that reading is one of the most powerful habits you can have. Reading gives you access to an infinite amount of information that will give you an edge in literally every single area of your life. And to add on to this, don't blindly rely or accept what is broadcasted in the news or the media, or ideas that have been spoon-fed to you your entire life. Have a curiosity about the information that's been given to you, and don't be afraid to research some of those things yourself and form your own opinion. You might realize that what's been taught to you your whole life is actually wrong.